Arsenal, or the combined 11 of Arsenal and Manchester United. You know when this really comes to pass. It always comes to pass every time two big clubs are obviously going to be playing in. And I tell you, in the opening 10 games, we are obviously going to be having very many combined 11s. I tell you, because if you look at this so-called Premier League schedule, United and Arsenal is the big game this season, right? You all agree with me. Sorry, match day 1. Then we go to match day 2. We'll be having another big game, Man City versus Tottenham Hotspur. You understand? Then match day 3, there is Newcastle versus Liverpool. That is match day 2 also. Then there is another big one, Liverpool versus Arsenal, another big game. That is match day 3, where I'll obviously come in with a combined 11. Then match day 4, Man City versus Manchester United, another combined 11 will come in through. Then the other big match is Man United versus Chelsea, match day 5. And then match day 5 will be having two combined 11s, because a club known as Arsenal will also be hosting Man City. So I've always told you that it's really going to be an action-packed combined 11 so-called so-called days that obviously going to be coming in through, as we obviously bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun, and let's obviously continue to subscribe to see to it that all really goes on well as planned. Rokani David is the name, and I'm the person behind the microphone talking to you, and I know you're really enjoying the vibe and you're really catching the vibe very, very, very well. Now, I've already gone ahead, obviously, put in what we call the match previews for both teams on the channel known as United Matters channel. It's already there, you understand? And on this particular channel, Rokani Media Football, it's already there. Now, we are into the combined 11. I was like, let's obviously get into the combined 11, maybe in the morning. And I was like, no. It will feel like I'm cheating you guys, yet you're really supposed to obviously sleep over this. And I wanted also to really get in what we call a direct contact, direct contact with you guys, like Joseph Oliga, who has just obviously gone ahead to come in to obviously tell me his thoughts about this combined 11 of Man United versus Arsenal. Now, if you've watched my match previews for Arsenal, we had David Raya in goal, Julian Timber right back. Left back was Lewis Kelly. The right-sided centre-back, Saliba. Left-sided centre-back, Gabriel Magalhaes. Then the midfield, it was Zubimendi, Rice, and Odegaard. Front 3, Saka, Gyokeres, and Gabriel Martinelli. That was the front 3 in there for you. Then later, we went ahead to obviously get into a different United team altogether in a system of 3-4-2-1, and we had Onana in goal because Andre Onana is ready for this encounter in there. Right? Then we went ahead to obviously have the back 3. It was Lenny Yoro, Matthias De Ligt, and Luke Shaw. Then the double pivot, we had Manuel Ugarte and Kobe Mainoo. Then right wing back, it was all about a player known as Amadi Diallo. Then the left wing back, Patrick Dogu. Then the 2 central attacking midfielders who act as the 2 number 10s in the system of Ruben Amorim, Bruno Fernandes and Matheus Cunha. And guess who was leading the line for the club of Manchester United? It was all about Benjamin Sesko. Those are my probable starting 11s that are obviously coming with to obviously upload them here, and you've already gone ahead to comment onto them. Now we get into the combined 11, and we are obviously going to be coming in here to say to it that we bring you the best of the best as it really comes into your way. Now, the club of Manchester United and Arsenal are really going to be facing off tomorrow, and the combined 11 comes in here. Very many channels have gone ahead to do their combined 11s, but here I come up with mine, and I'm obviously going to be trying to get exactly some of your reactions in or from the comment section that you, the loved one, are. Now, the system that we've gone ahead to choose is a 4-3-3 system that we can suit or fit these teams in. Though Arteta has shifted to a 4-2-3-1, but we don't know whether tomorrow we'll go a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Now let's pick a 4-3-3 system. Now in goal, Man United has Andre Onana, and Arsenal has a player known as what's his name? And Arsenal has a player known as David Raya. Now, out of the two, I'd like to let you know that if it was some years back, Onana would have gone ahead, obviously, coming through and really clinch that spot. But according to the performances of David Raya, he won even what you call the Golden Glove last season. And I think even the previous season had obviously gone ahead to win it. And he really went ahead to put in some perfect saves. If I told you went ahead and watched very many games that Arsenal went ahead to play. And you'll be a cheat if you ever come out and really give this position to Andre Onana. You know, I think it goes to David Raya, and you people come out and obviously say, yes, that is the position in there. Now, let's go to the right back. Right back, when you look at the system of Man United, you look at Amadi Diallo being played as a right back. And for Arsenal, it's either White or Julian Timber. And in my probable starting 11 for Arsenal, I went in for a player known as Julian Timber. Now, Julian Timber or Diallo, name it, or Amadi Diallo. And let's all admit, there is a player who has gone ahead to come to the Premier League, and he has really looked good in that position, and is none other than Julian Timber. I understand Diallo is good, Ahmad is good, but Julian Timber is just a different kind of player. And if at all you really get back to his performances last season as compared to those of Amadi Diallo, I think Julian Timber is really one of those that we have to see to it that comes into this team without hesitation. Let's go to what we call the left back. You understand? Now, for the left back position, I want to let you know that Arsenal has very many, but in the many they have, in my probable starting 11, I went in for Lewis Kelly. Though others came in through and really said, we are going in for none other than a player called Carafiori. But for me, I'm going in for Lewis Kelly. And United will front Patrick Dogu, Luke Shaw, name it. And all those, I think Lewis Kelly announced himself as one of the best left backs in the league last season. And without further ado, I tell you what, I really give him his flowers. And I really see to it that he really takes that left back position, and I go Lewis Skelly in there. I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but in my combined 11, I go that. Now, we go to the left-sided centre-back. United plays with a three-man central defence, and I was like, Arsenal really has a person who is really untouchable, and there is no one in the Premier League that can really dislodge him from that position. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about a player called Saliba. Now, for Gabriel Magalhaes, I'm obviously going to be pairing him with Matthias de Ligt. And for this, I know the biggest argument is obviously going to be arising from here. Because for me, I've gone ahead to choose this man over Gabriel Magalhaes. That is it. Because I think he's a better player, and we saw him last season. The United was really struggling. Matthias de Ligt stood out amongst all the defenders of Manchester United, and here he comes into my left-sided centre-back in there. Right-sided centre-back, I tell you what, it all goes to one player known as William Saliba. No one in the league, no one in the world can bench William Saliba, I tell you this. He's such a special talent, and amongst the back five in my 4-3-3 system, it's United having 1 and Arsenal having 4. So it's now 4 against 1. It shows you how far Arsenal is going to hit, obviously put in its players to obviously surge over those of Manchester United in performances and consistency in the previous times they've gone ahead to see them kick a ball. Then we get to what we call the midfield. CDM. United has Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro, and I chose a player known as Manuel Ugarte ahead of Casemiro. You get? That means for United, we are fronting a man known as Ugarte. Arsenal, they're having 2 or 3 CDMs. There is Declan Rice, there is Zubimendi, there is Nogard. And I think Mikel Arteta will obviously go on to bring on a player called Zubimendi into that midfield. Now, it's Zubimendi versus Manuel Ugarte. And I tell you what, I went ahead and obviously chose for this guy to play into my CDM area. That is Zubimendi. Zubimendi is one of those that has gone ahead to obviously stamp himself into that team of Arsenal, even where he came in from. That is Real Sociedad last season. He was really one of the integral players that really ran the show in the midfield. Whether they're playing against Real Madrid, Barcelona, name it, the lad was really all over the place. And I think Casemiro, neither Casemiro nor Ugarte matches his levels of performances in here. So that is a player known as Zubimendi into that particular position. He will play as a CDM into that particular team in there. So from that, we obviously went ahead to obviously get to the box-to-box role or the number 8 role. Now, Arsenal will get you a player known as Mikel Merino or Declan Rice in that position. And in my probable starting 11, I went ahead to choose a player known as Declan Rice. You understand? So after choosing Declan Rice, I went ahead to obviously get at Manchester United. And who did I pick there? They have very many players that can play the number 8 position, but I went ahead to pick there a player known as Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo came in through and he's versing Declan Rice. And guys, if you are to talk about the qualities of a number 8 that you need in your team, and a player that can best complement Zubimendi, and for the best performances we've gone ahead to see from all these players, I went ahead to make this decision in my combined 11. And guys, this is my opinion. You can as well go ahead into the comment section and really tell me your opinion. But this is Rokani David's opinion in here onto the Rokani Media Football. And I chose Kobbie Mainoo over a player known as Declan Rice. I know most of you will come out and rant, but I've gone ahead to obviously choose Kobbie Mainoo over Declan Rice. Arsenal fans are going to be fuming, but I tell you this, the lad is better than Declan Rice. You might hate him or love him. You might not really feel like he's yet to step onto the big stage, but I tell you what, Kobbie Mainoo is better than Declan Rice. And if Kobbie Mainoo comes in at Arsenal, I tell you what, Arteta will field him in every game because he has all the attributes that he needs in his number 8. Let's go to the number 10, all the central attacking midfielder in this 4-3-3 system. Now, there is a player known as Martin Odegaard for Arsenal that I've gone ahead to choose, and there is a player that there is a player known as Bruno Fernandes for the club of Manchester United. You understand? And this is where I obviously gonna really shock many of you. I like Odegaard, I like Bruno Fernandes, and I've always told you that the reason why I like Odegaard. Odegaard is a modern number 10, and he makes players that play around him better. And I've always gone ahead to pose a question to every person who really supports Man United and who really thinks that Bruno is better than Odegaard, that who makes the other one look better? Who makes the players around him look better in his team? And Bruno doesn't do that, but Odegaard does it. But when you look at the numbers that Bruno Fernandes went ahead to put out last season, guys, however much United finished 15th, and Arsenal finished 2nd, I was like, Odegaard should take this slot because, most of the times I've gone here to do these combined 11s, there is a player that has obviously gone ahead to really surpass the other. And he has always gone ahead to be Martin Odegaard. This time round, I was like, Odegaard looked bad last season, and I went in for a Bruno Fernandes in there to play as the number 10 in this combined 11. Your thoughts are really welcome in the comment section below. Right? Now, from that, we went ahead to obviously get to the front 3. And the front 3 of Man United will obviously have Mbeumo is one of the players that you can consider in such a system, and Arsenal is having Madueke and Bukayo Saka. And out of those two, it's Saka who is obviously going to start as a right forward for the club of Arsenal. Now, Mbeumo versus Bukayo Saka. I've gone ahead to see people bring out stats of Mbeumo that he scored very many goals than Bukayo Saka last season, but I want to see what Saka brings onto the field of play. And by the way, if you perform at a team known as Brentford, and you put in those numbers, it doesn't guarantee you that you can surpass a player who has gone ahead to produce maybe 10 goals and 10 assists in a top side that's competing for the trophy. Now, if Bryan Mbeumo comes in at Man United and puts in those performances, I'll tell you that Bryan Mbeumo is better than Bukayo Saka. But as per now, I go Bukayo Saka over Bryan Mbeumo. I tell you this because I believe that Saka has earned a right to obviously be one of the best right forwards in the league. I think one who beats him is Mohamed Salah. That is it. And let's wait to see how these ones at Chelsea will go in, Estevo and very many others. But I tell you what, Saka is the one I've gone ahead to choose in my combined 11 ahead of a player known as Bryan Mbeumo. If Bryan Mbeumo comes in and performs at Manchester United at that level, I'll be like, all right, he deserves to be there. You understand? Now, let's go to the left forward. I'm obviously gonna borrow the narrative I've gone ahead to choose for Saka over Mbeumo to Martinelli in there for you. Arsenal left forward is Martinelli because Leandro Trossard is really doubtful, though news is showing that, all indicates that the lad has gone ahead to obviously travel with the club of Arsenal to Manchester, right? Now, here we come in. United will obviously front Matheus Cunha, and the guy known as Arsenal will front the guy known as Martinelli. Now, let's speak sense and let's speak football. Now, yes, Cunha has been playing for Wolverhampton Wanderers and he has been putting performances. And Martinelli has been playing for Arsenal and he has not gone ahead to be putting in performances. The reason as to why I picked Saka over Mbeumo is that Saka has been at Arsenal putting in performances and Mbeumo has been at Brentford putting in performances. And a player at a big club like Arsenal who puts in performances is better than a club is better than a player at Brentford, Nottingham, Wolverhampton Wanderers that is putting in performances. But we cannot obviously come out and say that Martinelli has been putting in performances. Martinelli last showcased the best of him in the season of 2022-2023, where he scored close to 16 goals into that entire season, and he bagged in, I think, 15 Premier League goals. Ever since then, he has never obviously resurrected. Looks like he's off in Brazil. He's obviously taking a walk in the park. He's not yet to the levels that we think he should be at. You understand? That is a guy known as Gabriel Martinelli. And for that, I tell you what, I'm going to be choosing Matheus Cunha over Gabriel Martinelli. If it was Leandro Trossard and is a variable, I would have gone ahead, obviously, coming through and really tell you that, yes, he is the lad over a player called Cunha. But Martinelli, he hasn't obviously gone ahead to showcase anything in the previous two seasons. And I think if he doesn't really put out anything this season, Arsenal will have to put him up for sale. I'm 100% sure about that. So thank you guys. That's what I'm really doing in here. And I'm going in for Matheus Cunha over a player known as Martinelli. Now, this time round, at the person who is obviously going to be leading the line, you understand, we have two strikers who are novices in the Premier League. One came from Portugal, that is Victor Gyokeres, and he scored an awash number of goals. Benjamin Sesko, I think in the testing squad, was it 13, 15 goals in there, and we come in this combined 11. We all know to it that Arsenal obviously flaunt a player known as Gyokeres to lead their line. And for the club known as Manchester United, it's going to be Benjamin Sesko. Now, if Benjamin Sesko comes in there, you understand, and Arsenal fronts Gyokeres, who do you think deserves to lead the line? Guys, who do you think deserves to lead the line? And without bias, Gyokeres takes the slot. There is no way a player known as Benjamin Sesko can obviously come in through and take the nod over a player known as Gyokeres. I think Gyokeres is a much more proven striker, and even the manager of Manchester United really wanted him. United wanted Gyokeres as the first priority, and that shows you that after all that, the manager went ahead to go to his other choices, but his first choice was Victor Gyokeres. And if it never went on as planned, then you know that Gyokeres is better than Benjamin Sesko right about now. But if you want to look at the footballing skills and so on and so forth, technical abilities, Sesko is really better, but a number 9 is obviously known for the number of goals he scores. You understand? So if he's not scoring in some much number of goals, then he won't obviously tick that box that we want to see to it that most of us really see those goals. So that is it, and that's my combined 11 in there. And when you look at that combined 11, as you see it there, Arsenal has the following players: David Raya, Timber, Saliba, Lewis Kelly, Zubimendi, Saka, and Gyokeres, right? Arsenal has 7 players. United has Matthias De Ligt, Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainoo, and Matthias Cunha. It's 7/4. It's 7/4. Arsenal takes 7 players, and Man United has only produced 4 players in my combined 11. And I obviously want to see you guys go into the live chat, all those that will watch this video after, and let me know who your players are in your combined 11 in here onto our beautiful channel. Now, let's obviously get into the big one, the managers. Is there any doubt that we already know who the manager is to manage this team? Manchester United is managed by Ruben Amorim, and he had a disaster of an opener of a season in the 28. In how many games did he call? He managed. He came in through, I think he managed close to 23 games. He really saw Man United go south of being 15th, and Arteta, for the 3rd consecutive time in a row, finished 2nd in the Premier League. You understand? So that is all about Mikel Arteta, and I choose Mikel Arteta over my manager for the team that I support, that is Manchester United. So the manager of this team is obviously going to be Ruben Amorim. I don't know what your thoughts are. The manager of this team is going to be Ruben Amorim, and no, sorry guys, I'm sorry, fuck off. The manager of this team is going to be Mikel Arteta, not Ruben Amorim. It's going to be Mikel Arteta, not Ruben Amorim. Arsenal fans would have gone ahead to go after me. They were going to Rokani. Today, obviously gone ahead to stop being objective. But that is it. And you can as well continue commenting about my combined 11. But let me obviously go into the live chat and really have something to say about you people. Joseph Olinga, good morning, Aradi. Good morning, my brother. Then John Martin Elisha, good morning, bro. Thanks for the show, all right? Then Mubarak says, for me, I want to identify all Arsenal fans that Man United versus Arsenal, it's a difficult game. Obviously, it's a difficult game. It can go either way, though Arsenal are really the favorites to obviously come and win this beautiful game of football. Then we are having, who else am I having here? Mubarak says, but Skelly is off form. You haven't been watching him lately. Gerard says, thanks, Rokani. I was waiting for that. All right, thank you for obviously being in through. And Paul says, hey, Rokani, thanks for the representation. Thank you. Then Nelly Kelly says, that Mainoo is better than Rice. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Arteta would send Mainoo to alone. Guys, the problem you people have, is that you think that the players that play for your team are the only better than others. But I want to let you know, the fact is, Kobe Mainoo is a better player than Declan Rice. You might not believe it, you might hate it, but he has the best attributes onto the ball. And you all know that. You saw it with the England national team at the Euros, who came in through to obviously put that midfield back into shape. It was Kobe Mainoo. You understand? The other guy is Mainoo is in the shadow of Rice. You can say what you want, because I know most Arsenal fans are always on this channel, but I tell you this, Kobe Mainoo is a better player than Declan Rice. Brestford, how can you take Mainoo over Rice? Please, need my explanation about that. obviously Man U is a better player than Declan Rice, And by the Rice last season never really had, apart from his performance in the Champions League, tell me anything else that obviously came and really had to do, Paul says, Aradi, I'm with you in all except Rice for Kobe Mainoo, Big Gabby for Delete. Guys, Delete is a better defender than Gabriel Magalhaes. The problem is, each and every time a good player plays well in a bad performing team, his performances are really taken for granted. They are not really given that hype like a player gets when he's playing for a very big team and is performing very well. You understand? But I tell you, Mainoo over Rice. Delete over Big Gabby. Nelly says, shocking that Delete is better than Gabriel Magalhaes and Mainoo is better than Rice. Shocking combined 11. In combined 11, Man U has only 2 players, Bruno and Mbeumo. The rest are all for Arsenal. And I also don't agree with you for Bryan Mbeumo. Where does Bryan Mbeumo goes? To put Bryan Mbeumo over Bukayo Saka, that is a very unheard of thought, because Bryan Mbeumo is good, but I tell you, Saka is excellent, has been like this for some time. So, you people are telling me that Kobe Mainoo is a player that shouldn't be put ahead of Declan Rice, and I'm putting Kobe Mainoo over Declan Rice. I don't know what your thoughts are about it. And these players are really good, but I've gone ahead to choose over this lad because I know how good he is. Now, I've gone ahead to obviously put in the match previews. I think you've gone ahead to obviously catch them already. For the United Matters channel, you know where to find your content. And for the Rokani Media Football, you know where to obviously catch your content from. So I want to let you know that the club of Manchester United is not seated. It's on and they're really doing the job. Arsenal is also doing their biggest job. And the latest news, Arsenal fans, Max Dorman has gone ahead to travel with the club of Arsenal to Manchester. And by the way, he might get his debut tomorrow. I'm talking about the Premier League debut, because these preseason games, for me, I don't take them serious, because anyone can come up and obviously do whatever he wants. You understand? But for this so-called Premier League, this is where we see how you will obviously come and really look when you're really facing the big boys. And you know who the big boys are. Like, you've gone ahead to see Ekitike shining, and today you've gone ahead to see another team known as Man City doing its magic, because very many of you had gone ahead to obviously write off Man City. And I told you that City will obviously shock you. And City has obviously gone ahead to shock you. I tell you, there are 2 teams that I feel are obviously going to be fighting for the league. It is City and Arsenal. If you've seen how City has gone ahead to play today, then you let me know later. By the time we've gone ahead to play in 10 games, you let me know whether I was right or wrong. But I want to let you know, it's not Liverpool. It's not Chelsea. It's either Arsenal or Man City for the Premier League trophy. I know that people are saying Liverpool has gone ahead to start up with the bang and so on and so forth. You understand? But please, and please, and please, and please, and please, and please, and please, be observant. The game is on. The league is on. You let me know by the time we're going to have to put in 10 games, which team will always be there. We add on more 5 to 15, you let me know where City and Arsenal will be and where Liverpool and Chelsea will be. Liverpool is really having problems with its central defense, and unless they score very many goals, they won't obviously compete, with teams that can obviously seal that back line and make it hard for them to score. Yesterday, you saw how they played against Bournemouth. They almost went ahead to lose that big game. You know why? Led by 2 goals, leveled, and it was a Chiesa off the bench who came up and obviously saved them on the day. You understand? So their defense is really alarming. Chelsea, I know they can obviously come and really put in some good performances, but I cannot put my money on them to obviously come and compete for the trophy, because I know that their squad is still young, but it will compete. But my top competitors are my top competitors are Arsenal and Man City, and I said Arsenal are my favorites to obviously win the trophy. Then Nelly Kelly, in combined 11, United has only 2 players. All right. Thank you guys for watching in through, and I think it's high time obviously call it quits. 30 minutes of streaming live onto this channel, and that is my combined 11. I don't know what your thoughts are about that combined 11, but let's obviously get it up and running, and I would love to see what your thoughts are about this beautiful video that I've gone ahead obviously upload in here, and you guys have gone ahead to obviously love it. Then I'm having Empire Online says the Red Devils must win it. It is a new era. Amorim must do it. Yeah, I love Amorim and I really love him too. I love him die, but I feel like we did our business badly. For a team like Manchester United, if you note it that you want to really get in a goalkeeper and a midfielder and two creative midfielders, all what you have to do is you can get the other players in the upfront position of the pitch later. But a goalkeeper is very important, and United is chasing him to goalkeeper. Then a CDM is also important because he needs to obviously form a bond, all complement the others in the midfield. And if United gets in Homeland or any other player in there, when will he obviously fit in? Because we did the same mistake with Manuel Ugarte last time, you understand? So I want United to win the game of football against Arsenal, but I'm real to myself that obviously Manchester United is really the underdog in this game and Arsenal are the favorites. Gerard says, go for match statistics between Rice and Mainu. All right, get me the passes they average and get me the attributes of a number 8, and you can argue with me, but I'll tell you at the end of it all, we'll obviously come in here and you will note it that Mainu is a better player than Declan Rice, and with no season game played yet, I'll obviously go on their potential and you'll tell me who has huge potential than the other. You right? So we out. Bye bye and good.